Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, reviews. And today we're reviewing Abbott Elementary Season 2, Episode 3, entitled Story Samurai, coming to you from ABC and streaming on Hulu. So, was it good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Story Samurai is about a troupe of, I guess, well-meaning young performer or youngish performers go around the schools doing educational, uplifting, whatever, skits or whatever. You know those things that you remember as a kid you were sort of forced to go watch and were really kind of weird or boring and maybe occasionally entertaining. And all of the teachers really see this as a way to kind of occupy their kids so that they can get some actual work done, getting some time to do their planning and whatever because they're so overworked and busy. And it turns out that Jacob actually has a connection to this little troupe called the Story Samurai. And he's actually very proud of it, very excited, and is, really looking forward to seeing them. And he talks it up so much, but, the teachers are just like, yay, something to take our kids to. And then when Janine and Gregory actually see it, they realize just how, the word they use, and it's not wrong, is corny. How corny and silly it is. And it really is just like they're basically an improv troupe that takes what the kids ask, or say, and sort of make stories out of it. And that, the idea that everyone can be a storyteller, etc. Jacob, again, is very proud of this. And he doesn't, I guess, really see that it's, corny. He thinks it's uplifting and cool and interesting. And in a way, he explicitly has thought the same thing about himself. That's his, his view of himself and that he thinks other people see of him. And what he doesn't realize that when they come out that, of course, and, Ava, let me, by the way, say just that Ava is, she is the highlight of the episode. As she usually does have some of the best lines. She's the highlight of the episode because, she's really the driving force. She wants to get everything on social media and all that stuff and just like make a big deal out of making fun of Jacob and the Story Samurai. And the rest of the teachers are really just like, yeah, this is not good. But then we find out that Jacob is asked to kind of, jump in and be one, in on the performance that evening or that afternoon. And Janine's very much afraid, she's afraid that he's going to be humiliated and whatever, so she tries to talk him out of it. And it works around, that, of course, he is going to end up performing and everything. And we're all going to, learn a lesson. And, of course, that's the A plot. The B plot is that Melissa is... she's got the combined second and third grade class, and she's supposed to be the superwoman teacher, and she's actually sort of struggling. So we sort of see some of her struggles in the classroom and how, maybe Barbara's expectations led her to try to act like she doesn't need help, but she actually does. And it leads eventually to a good, a good result in that she's gonna get an aid, but maybe she's gonna regret that. That aide that's I'm assuming going to be a regular on the show from now on because of the situation. So, all that being said, what did I think about this episode? You know what? Not as good as the first two episodes because in some places it's a little too earnest, I guess, for a comedy, and that I mean that the setup for the whole samurai. What is it? The Story Samurai, it's a little more earnest, and I feel kind of bad because they're sort of like making fun of Jacob. I don't really like laughing at, not too much, and he's unaware he's being laughed at, and that it was a little uncomfortable, just a little uncomfortable. Also, but also it shows that Janine, she really means well. She really likes Jacob as a friend, and as much as she doesn't like it, she doesn't want to hurt his feelings or anything like that. I get that. The setup for it is, in the early parts of this episode were a bit not as interesting or funny, except for the fact that Ava and the janitor, that they really had good lines or whatever. And also, shouts out to the guy playing the janitor for that shawl, making that shawl look good. It was funny, but I was like, they said the shawl picked him. I agree. He wore the hell out of that. It really turned around once you actually got past the story samurai bit, and you started seeing like Janine and Ava sort of battling to see if they could, talk Jacob into or out of doing his part, and even down to Ava doing the whole announcement to the school about it, and that was real. I thought that was fun. Their back and forth. Jacob really shined. Actually, the guy playing Jacob, he really shined in this episode because that earnestness was a little infectious, but also when he sort of realized that he was going to get laughed at, he felt like, oh man, really crushed that maybe people saw him as like he was corny. But then later on, just getting up there and really getting into it, really selling it. I know, shout out to the actor. I hate that I can't call the actor's name at the moment. What's his name? But he's actually quite good at that point. And I like the two kids. It's Chris Perfetti? That's what his name is. But I also like the two kids that sort of like, yeah, he's corny, but that's why I call him Mr. C. But he's cool. So there actually is some affection in there, and Janine really realizing that, and with the help of Gregory, that trying to protect him actually was, forcing or sort of encouraging Jacob not to be who he is, and I really like that little moment. Gregory really he may have been saying he was corny, but he was like, yeah, that's who he is. That's just Jacob. I like that, and that Janine ends up being the one that encourages him to actually get up there and do something he loves. In addition, I like the little short moment, where Gregory and Janine kind of have a little moment saying, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" We know where that's headed, and it's cute all the way through. The B storyline again, it's not actually super compelling. I love Melissa as a character, and she's usually like about it, and she's real strong and strident and everything, and just seeing her sort of flounder I didn't like seeing her flounder, not because it wasn't good writing, just because it's a character that I like, and I don't like seeing her in distress, but also seeing Barbara as usual being the pillar and the rock and coming and helping her out and saying, hey, it's okay to ask for help. The little classroom scene was quite fun though, but it's we've all seen a teacher that's just sort of almost not head underwater. So it just really made me like Melissa a lot more because she was willing to go through that. So good on Lisa Ann Walters. Yeah, I love that character. She's just so I love all these characters, but sometimes she really gets a chance to shine, and this was one of those things. Even though I didn't particularly like the B story, so all the way around, I did enjoy this episode. Not as good as the first two, like I said, but still not as good as the first two. That's no strike on this. It's still quite funny. I had a lot of good loud belly laughs and annoying belly laughs because that's how I do. But this show is really it's really doing its thing, and I really enjoy it. So that's my thoughts on this episode. What do you guys think about it? Get down to the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are, and if you have any thoughts about what I had to say. Also, hit that like button. Help me out on the algorithm so more people see these videos, and of course, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to let you know when we drop more content. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me. Come back next week, and we'll be doing the very next episode, episode 4 of Abbott Elementary. Till then, I've been Mo the Poupée, resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.